Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished all of you as you are. I don't have a long speech. This is a message which General Waheed has sent, so I'm going to read it word by word, and it's just a page or so. And then, of course, I'll take the opportunity to talk about other issues. This message from General Waheed says, Dear Ikram, let me at the outset apologize for not being present in person at this important event because of health reasons. I am taking the liberty of sending this message to be read out by Lieutenant General Ali, that's me, to express my feelings. I want to thank you personally for dedicating Volume 15, the Cochrane Model, to me. While I feel humbled at the recognition, I was only doing my duty as a soldier and as a patriotic citizen of Pakistan. As COS Pakistan Army in 1993, I had to act when the political structure was collapsing and becoming an existential danger to the country. In the larger interest of the country, I had no option but to take over. And yet the army did not actually take over, but acted strictly in accordance with the Constitution. The Speaker of the Senate replaced the President who resigned. A caretaker PM replaced the PM who had also resigned. And the man that was chosen, he was agreed upon by both the President, outgoing Prime Minister. This is my addition into it. While remaining generally neutral, the President and caretaker proceeded to then conduct free and fair elections. Not one single military person interfered in any way in the elections. Sometimes military interventions are necessary in the life of the nation, but only for a short time and only to keep the country from deviating from its given destiny. The military should avoid getting involved in governance for even the shortest period. Ikram, you are a brave and outstanding soldier, a great loss to the army. You continued the remarkable brilliance in the civilian life in diverse fields. You have done wonderful work for this nation, and I am personally proud of you as one of the most upright and patriotic Pakistanis that I have met. Your stance has always been honest and morally correct, as well as reflected in your articles and media interviews. Your work is a must-read not only for the intelligentsia, but for those appearing in competitive exams both in civilian and military life. While thanking you for dedicating the 15th volume of A Personal Chronicle for Pakistan to me, I wish you very best for the event and for the future, with my salams to the assembled audience. This was, ladies and gentlemen, General Waheed. I would just like to add a few things, a little on the personal side, because I got to know General Waheed when he was promoted a Major General and I was promoted as a Brigadier, and we landed up in Sakhar. And that was the first time I actually met him face to face, although one had, pardon me, known each other because he came from a very distinguished family of KPK. He was Sardar Abdul Nishtar's nephew. He probably knew about me, but this was the first time that we met. And of course, we had a very interesting time, both in Sindh, hunting dacoits, and later on, I had also the privilege to work very closely for him. And it really was an absolute wonder to work for a person like him. There are not many people who appear in the world what General Waheed is or was. At the time when General Waheed's time was finishing, Benazir Bhutto as the Prime Minister, Farooq Laghari as the President of Pakistan, the whole diplomatic corps, most of all the Americans, begged him to take an extension. But his answer was pure and simple. He said, there are many more like me from where I come, and no. And that is probably his greatest point and his greatest service to this country. He is very clear. And in that portion, of course, I now have to, pardon me, come to some personal issues about Ikram. Ikram is the person whom I discovered in my life. Of course, we came from opposite schools. I am an HSOian, Ikram, of course, was a strong Gallian. And we got together when we went into the Army Aviation. And that's where when we got together. And this was around 69 or onwards, and things were happening in what was East Pakistan. And I remember he was, of course, talking hurt, like any Pakistani would be with the happening that were going on at that time, and very disturbed. And I remember in one of his conversations with me, he said, it's the time to do a surgical operation. I'm not going to delve in detail about the East Pakistan or the Bangladesh issue, but it's ironic that the saying that what goes around comes around. And after so many years, when Bangladesh was formed, a picture seeing Hasina Wajid signing, and we had this awful picture of General Aurora making General Niazi sign, which the Indians and the Bangladeshis had pasted everywhere. That picture is now being put side by side with one in which it's being signed by Hasina Wajid that she's resigning. And there are three flags visible. There is a Bangladesh flag and there is a Pakistani flag, believe it or not, that is visible. And that will give me some sort of pleasure, not pleasure, but at least it will take some of my shame away when I look at the picture of Aurora making General Niazi's sign. And of course, a similar thing, as I said, one of the things that Ikram taught me all along was, he is much younger than me, but he's a very wise person. And that was his knowledge about what was East Pakistan. It's understandable because, as I said, very well mentioned by Mushahid, that he represented both sides and he knew them very well. So we would talk, and of course he was being hurt, just as all Pakistanis were hurt about what happened in 71. But he must have felt most of all. And in that, unfortunately, there were some very unfair and cruel things said about him, which were totally false and totally not to be believed in. But when I saw this picture, I asked Ikram what he thought. And Ikram, I hope I've got it right, Ikram said, 2 countries, 1 nation. Have I got it right? 2 countries, 1 nation. And when you really, I don't know what is going to happen in what is Bangladesh now, but it does seem that there is a lot that is happening. And God knows which way it goes, but he has the insight to make this one statement which I think embodies everything. It's been my pleasure to know Ikram, as I told you, for a long time, and it's been a pleasure always. He initially used to call me that he is my wingman, but with time going on, I'm now as his old wingman because he's the one who guides me in most of things in my life. I wish Ikram the very best, and inshallah we will have happier days to look forward to. God bless you all. Thank you.